In the latter part of 1996, I contemplated the idea of expanding to a larger horsepower tractor to help take some of the workload off my 4455, as it was being used for every single function throughout the year on my farm. I felt at the current rate it would not take long, and it would have to be replaced, an option that I certainly did not wish to entertain. I seriously considered one of the newer 8000 series mechanical front-wheel drive tractors recently introduced by John Deere, but that alternative was quickly shelved when I realized the amount of finances that would be involved. I therefore decided the best course of action was to look around instead for a pre-owned four-wheel drive tractor that would be delegated entirely just for tillage work. By early April of 1997, I was fortunate to discover this 1984 John Deere 8450 tractor, which had 2,600 hours on the engine. It was in very nice shape, had been well looked after, and naturally in due course it was delivered to my yard. From the very beginning, my 8450 was hooked to this 35-foot John Deere 610 deep tillage cultivator, which was used for either cultivating my summer fallow, as shown here, or for pre-working the land ahead of my seed drills in the springtime. For that operation, I was thankful for its parallel lift, as the implement would consistently till the soil to the exact same depth, something that may not have been critical on flat ground, but on my rolling creek land it definitely proved its worth. The routine of summer fallow was still in effect to some degree when this video was taken almost 25 years ago. And as usual, I would apply that practice to a small portion of my land each year. Under normal conditions, I would use my chisel plow to keep the land well worked throughout the summer months, with usually one final operation taking place sometime in the fall, hopefully just before harvest would begin. In this video, it is quite obvious that this did not happen at the proper time, and now in late September I am counting on my tractor and tillage machinery to work down this forest of weeds before the onset of winter, which will certainly take place in a matter of just another month or so. When it came to working low spots after harvest, or when heavy straw and trash became excessive, I could always count on my 23-foot John Deere 235 tandem disc. This heavy-duty machine did an excellent job in destroying any above-ground vegetation, while at the same time leaving a very level soil surface. It was ideally suited for the speed and power that my four-wheel drive tractor possessed, and its large size allowed me to cover more ground in less time. Shortly after I had acquired this tractor came the presentation of Deere & Company's new 1820 air drill, which promised precision seating that equaled anything that I had experienced with my 9350 press drills. I was profoundly aware that now my four-wheel drive tractor could be utilized for all of my seating intentions, and after pondering the situation for another year, I decided to invest in a new 36-foot John Deere 1820 air drill. Its accompanying 1900 series air cart carried a total of 195 bushels of product, compared to the 79 bushels of product contained within the seed boxes of my press drills. The cart came with a large enough auger that allowed me to easily fill these tanks with my grain truck, and with only slight modification to the truck tailgate, this task could be performed in a very short time without ever moving the truck. With the entry of my GMC 8500 Tandem grain truck in 2005, I was able to increase the number of acres that I could seed in a day, as this new truck carried more product than what was possible in previous years. The air drill was equipped with electronic monitors for all functions, which of course included a warning when either of the tanks were starting to run low on product. But to me that was irrelevant, as both tanks were translucent, and whenever I would turn on the headlamps, I could glance back if I so desired and see in a moment exactly how much grain or fertilizer remained in each tank. Both air drill and cart were very easy to adjust in all respects, and a visual inspection from the driver's seat allowed me to keep close watch over the entire outfit at all time. My 8450 pulled this unit each spring with little effort under all field conditions. The only problem I ever encountered was where the land was exceptionally muddy, and that is when I would discover that this tractor would run out of traction very quickly. It was a simple fact that I had to keep my wits about me at all times and be aware of all surrounding circumstances. I still relied on fall fertilizing any of the stubble fields that were intended to be seeded the following year. And when this 8450 had arrived, the trend in this district had shifted over completely to the usage of anhydrous ammonia for fall deep banding. The usual procedure was to rent the entire apparatus, consisting of cultivator and tank, from a local dealer who supplied all the necessary anhydrous ammonia, and of course the delivery truck and driver to provide all refills. What is most prominent in these photos is the cultivator, which was never designed for this type of work. Its light-duty shanks were not meant for working hard ground at any great depth in the fall, and on many occasions I would observe gaseous anhydrous ammonia escaping into the air as the shanks were tripping backwards due to the heavy loads imposed upon them. Over the years, I realized that it was foolish to spend good money on rental equipment that was not adequate for the work it was intended to do, so I felt it only made financial sense to invest in a quality-built machine. I searched around and found a used John Deere 31-foot 1610 chisel plow in excellent shape, and with the purchase of an anhydrous kit, along with the proper knives for on the ends of the shanks, I had a machine that was ideally suited for the task at hand. Its solid, rugged strength was characteristic of the many previous John Deere chisel plows I had owned in the past, and I knew it could handle anything that it was assigned to for the future. After I retired from farming, it was sold along with the rest of my farm implements, and for those that wish to see this John Deere chisel plow still at work today, you may click on the Roosty 6 YouTube channel, and each spring it will be busy applying anhydrous ammonia into its various stubble fields. This 8450 four-wheel drive tractor had the distinction of being my main tractor on my farm for 14 seasons, longer than any other tractor that I owned. I used it for almost 3,500 hours, and in that time frame, the only expense attributed to equipment malfunction was a complete inspection and restoration performed on the diesel injection pump, as well as all the fuel injectors. The repair work was done shortly after this video was taken, and without a doubt it was an overhaul that was certainly justified. I now no longer would drive across the field and watch the exhaust pipes spewing black smoke into the environment. Instead, it used less diesel fuel to produce more horsepower with increased pull at the drawbar, which is where it counted most. Because of its excellent built-in weight distribution, this tractor never suffered from the infamous power hop that was common for a lot of four-wheel drive tractors of that time period. By the same token, I always relied on John Deere's hydro-cushion seat suspension to keep me comfortable throughout the day and provide me with a soft, smooth ride whenever field conditions became exceedingly rough. I will admit that this model of the 50 Series John Deere four-wheel drive tractor design that was introduced into the North American market almost 40 years ago may not have been the most powerful horse in the stable compared to its many counterparts of that era. I knew that my 8450 was no high-spirited, dashing Arabian stallion, nor was it a nimble American quarter horse that could turn on a dime. Rather, it was just a lowly Clydesdale that went in the direction that you pointed it in. Instead of 4 furry hoofs, it used 8 rubber donuts to pull anything that was hooked to its drawbar. It was 14 years, almost to the day, from the time it arrived in my yard to the time it left to go to its new home. Not once in all those years did it ever disappoint me or give me a reason that I should have maybe invested in something different. This tractor did all that I asked of it, and it truly was a sad, somber morning as I quietly stood by my gate and watched it fade into the distance. I thank you for watching.